I call upon our member Sidhu to start our meeting with our conventional prayer. Over to Sidhu.
A prayer, heaven of freedom, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where the words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Sidhu. Friends on same wavelength, Chennai Annanagar chapter, welcoming you all for our 108th meet. That is, we have completed 15 years and 8 months without a break for the kind cooperation of our members. I take the opportunity of welcoming you all for our meeting, and I take the opportunity of welcoming our distinguished speaker, Sri Lakshman Kumar Ganaparapu,
Yes.
today's meeting, and he is an MTech Computer Engineering, NITK Suratkal. He's a very, very efficient, qualified engineer and a very, very interesting speaker. And the topic he has chosen is also very, very interesting to us. Wi-Fi security made simple as a guide for older ones like us. He's going to give a guidance to how to simpler the security of the Wi-Fi. It's a very interesting topic. All of you kindly listen to it, and it will be followed by discussion afterwards. And before going into the topic, again I call upon our Sidhu to introduce our distinguished speaker, and it gives me great privilege to welcome our speaker of today's meeting. And one more thing, before that, my special welcome is to our own Vice President, Professor Dr. R.V.S. Sharma. In spite of his busy schedule, he could arrange this wonderful speaker, prominent speaker, interesting speaker for today's evening. Now, over to Sidhu for introducing the speaker. Over to Sidhu, please.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, FOSWLians. Today's speaker, Sri Ganavarapu Lakshman, is an adept wireless software engineer with sound academic foundation in computer science, data science, and advanced networking. MTech in CSE from NITK Suratkal and a BTech in CSE from Kakatiya University. Kothakudam, an advanced PG diploma course in data science and machine learning from IISc are his qualifications. He is now working in the Ministry AP division at HPE, contributing to the development of self-driving Wi-Fi networks. Beyond technology, he is an avid badminton player and a learner of Advaita Vedanta philosophy. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I hand over the mic to our Vice President, Professor R.V.S. Sharma, to conduct the lecture and followed by discussion. Over to Professor Sharma ji.
Just listen carefully. It is a very interesting topic because all of us use Wi-Fi left and right. And unless we know what is a Wi-Fi security, how are we going to handle the cyber problems, So let us start welcoming him. Once again, my dear, you go ahead. You let me know when you want the presentation.
Good evening, everyone. So my pranams to all of you, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to share the knowledge which I have. And I believe whatever I speak will be helpful to most of the people. So I am in this industry from the past 25 years. So I am from day one, I am working in Wi-Fi technologies. So if apart from this, session, even whenever you get any doubt regarding Wi-Fi, home issues in your homes regarding Wi-Fi's, you can consult me. I would like to talk about Wi-Fi because not only for uh, any generation, it's like not specific to a generation, whoever is using Wi-Fi, right? So most of us are using Wi-Fi on a day-to-day basis. Lot of devices we have at our homes. We use devices at airports. We use our devices at coffee shops. So all generations are using. We download whatever the app, whatever the link comes, and right. So when we access our personal data, or when we do bank transactions, or whatever we do over these network, so basically it is wireless. So it is wireless, is accessible to everyone. So it's not like a wire where, okay, I have connected and only my device is using this wire. No one will come in between and listen to it or see the data which is going on. So because the medium is such that access is easy, anyone can access the wireless medium. So we have to be very careful, because we think, okay, router is at our home, so our home is secured, but the signal goes everywhere. So it can go to our balconies, or it can go to our backyards. So whoever can see that signal, they can get access if our networks are not secured. So with the cyber frauds we are seeing over in this generation, so I felt Wi-Fi security is at most important for us. So that's why I chose this topic. So now, how, like, I am not going to very deep into this subject, but I will just share some basic safety measures and simple steps with which we can make our Wi-Fi security better. So simple. So the topics which I'm going to cover are like simple Wi-Fi safety habits, then practical steps for everyone, without really needing the technical expertise from anyone else. Next slide. Yeah, I was uh, talking about in the introduction. So why Wi-Fi security matters. So it is like our main door lock. So it's gateway to our home, but it is invisible freeway. So if we keep our main doors open, even forget about the intruders, even a common man, a good man may get an idea of stealing something because the door is open. So he may get some ideas. Similarly, Wi-Fi is like, if you have an open Wi-Fi, if your Wi-Fi is not secured enough, then people can get an idea of connecting it. Okay, it's a free Wi-Fi, let us connect and use it. And if they are more smart, then they can look into what kind of transactions you are doing, what are your usernames and passwords, all those things they can get into. So that is why we should treat, okay, Wi-Fi is also a gateway to our home, and the way we are locking our main door, let us lock our Wi-Fi also. So as I said, risks of unsecured Wi-Fi, right? It allows the strangers to monitor our activities, and they can steal our personal data also. So how do we secure is like using the strong passwords I'm going to discuss, right? So to protect our sensitive information, we need Wi-Fi security. So first is, it is a gateway to our home, and there are many risks of unsecured Wi-Fi, and we have to protect our sensitive information. That is the reason we need Wi-Fi security. Next slide. So before talking about Wi-Fi security and dive deep into the topic, right? I just want to show a picture where I am talking. So maybe most of you might have seen on the left side, there is a black box, the big box, which is called with the name of Netgear. It is here. So these kind of boxes at your home are our home gateway or Wi-Fi gateways or Wi-Fi access points. So interchangeably I use, okay, I'll start using home gateway. So these kind of boxes with white color or red color, or there are some vertical boxes, right? So they are our Wi-Fi routers at home. So these are physically we can see, but technically, like if you see the right side diagram, so you have a Wi-Fi router in the middle, then you can connect laptops or you can connect mobile phones. If our homes are bigger, then you might have some repeaters. Some of you might have mesh networks where the same network is available across multiple floors. So that's why it is called the repeater here, one repeater. And to this repeater, we have one laptop client connected and one mobile phone connected. So what we are talking, today's topic is in between, the link between client laptop and home gateway is one thing, and what we have to do in the home gateway itself. So one is what we do within the home gateway and what we do to the network which we see, so that the wireless link from laptop to the home gateway is secure. Next slide, please. So before I go to the topic of like how do we configure the security, so this a general picture in your laptops. If we enable Wi-Fi, you can see the networks are listed. Then how do we know whether the Wi-Fi is secured or not? So in MacBooks especially, we see, okay, this kind of lock on the right side. So you have a network name and a lock. So if we have a lock besides a network name, that means it is the secured network. If we don't have a lock besides the name, which I have highlighted here, like Wi-Fi, SRBRK, VEN, YNV. So this network doesn't have a lock. So that means it is a free Wi-Fi, open Wi-Fi, we call it as. Open Wi-Fi means there is no security. In general, we feel like it's good. You don't need to enter anything. You connect, you just click on it, you get the connection and you get the internet. It is easy, but we lose our data. So if it is at our home, and even if our home Wi-Fi is unsecured like this, then intruders can access our Wi-Fi. They can access it for freely, or they can look into our data. Whatever the transactions we are doing, they can look into. So that is the reason we have to make sure our Wi-Fi is secured. So, and how do we identify is like this. So if it is not, there is no lock here, that means it's an open network for now. Different operating systems will have different notations. So some in Windows, I see a yellow bang which says it is unsecured network. So when you mouse over, they will say unsecured network. So already with the warning they show. So that means unsecured network is not safe. So that's how we can identify whether our network is open network, unsecured, or secure network. Next slide, please. So now we know, okay, we have understood the problems with open networks. Then we would like to secure the Wi-Fi with passwords. So now when we secure, we would like to set a strong password. So strong password I will discuss, like setting a strong password protects against unauthorized access. So what is strong password and what is weak password? Why a password is called weak, we will discuss in the following slide. For now, let us use a strong password. And point number 2, use WPA2 or WPA3 encryption. this looks to be more technical, so I don't want to describe what it does, but I will just talk about encryption. So it is just nothing but scrambling the data. So instead of sending our details or whatever we send on the air as a plain text, they scramble the data, jumble it, and send it across. So here, as I said earlier, you have a mobile phone and you have home gateway. Between mobile home and home gateway, you have the wireless connection. So in this wireless connection, if the Wi-Fi security is open, all the data goes in plain data. So I forgot to tell you one thing. We can capture all the packets on the air. There are tools available, n number of tools available, where I can just sit here and see what is happening all over me on the wireless side. So the tools have they will get all the data, and if it is a plain data, I can look into all the names, usernames, password, whatever is sent in the website or whatever you are doing. So better thing is, like, we have to scramble. We should make sure no one in the middle understands whatever we are sending. So that is what the encryption does. Before doing the encryption, both the mobile phone and the home gateway, they will agree upon one technique. So that technique, we call it as encryption here. The techniques, there are different techniques available. One of the better technique is WPA2, and the best technique as on today is WPA3. So if we know about encryption, you are familiar, then WPA3 encryption is the best encryption available in wireless today. WPA2 is better encryption. If your routers are older routers and if they don't support WPA2, nothing to worry. We can still use WPA2. But if your routers are supporting WPA3 and you are still keeping your networks open, then please change it to WPA3 encryption. So now we spoke about what is encryption, and this is the protocol. So I will show you how to configure that in the access point. Point number one is, we have to make our Wi-Fi network secure. We should use the strong password. Then what kind of technique we should prefer is WPA3. If WPA3 is not available, WPA2. So that is a better technique to encrypt, so that it becomes hard for the intruder to get the data and reassemble and understand what we are sending over wireless. So now the immediate action is, like, if anyone is using the open network, please change as soon as possible to the secured network. So use strong password is the word I used earlier, and we call it as passwords only. But why we said use strong passwords? We have to remember the password, and to remember, we would like to keep it a simple password, because if we keep a complicated password, we tend to forget it. And better, one of the best practices is not to write on the paper the passwords. So now everything is contradicting here. We have to use the strong password. If we use the strong password, it is difficult to remember. And for remembering, if you want to write it on a paper, that is not a best practice. So now how do we do it? So that's why instead of using a password, use a passphrase. You like one sloka, or you like one prayer, or you like your grandson's or your son's LKG book or something. You take some phrase and take few words from phrase and keep it as a password. So that way, the phrases which we are repeating every day, we can easily remember, and we just need to remember the technique. Okay, how many letters and what we are doing with each word in that phrase. We are done. So that technique we don't need to write on the paper. Slokam is also we don't need to write because we are chanting every day. So like that, I mean, based on your convenience and comfort, whatever you do regularly. So like take a sentence or a one liner and use few letters from each word to make a password. And then you just need to remember what is the technique you use to create the password. So that's why don't use the password, use passphrase. So here examples for the weak passwords. I mean, nowadays, like even whenever whatever the website we need to enter the passwords or create the passwords, they are giving the suggestions. They, as soon as we type the password, they say it is weak or it is strong or it is in between. So based on whatever we enter, they are deciding it. So now a weak password is like grandma 1955 and password 123. In most of the networks, my friends' homes, I see 0 to 9 is the password, or 9 to 0 is the password, or shared secret is the password. Password 123 is the password. So until it works, it works. I mean, until it is convenient, it is convenient. But one day, if one intruder comes and like if he sniffs our data, it's a problem. So instead of that, like there is one suggestion I gave: strong password, blue tomato dancing chair. So like here we have taken one from the colors, one word from fruits, vegetables, and one from cultural activities, and one from furnitures. So we just need to remember, okay, these are the things which I'm combining. Then you can always easily remember the password. So make it as a passphrase, generate the password and enter. So instead of treating it like a password. So here if I'm talking about how to change, so without showing at least a simple user interface of how a typical router looks, it will not be clear to you. So that is the reason I choose this. So if you see here, website is 192.168.1.1. This is what I have entered in the browser tab. Okay. Then it asks for the passwords. I'll show you. So now here, this is one of the home gateways configuration page. It says security and it is saying WPA2 PSK. And it says WPA2 PSK enabled. If we see here, WPA3 is not available. So as I said, WPA3 is better to have, but even if we don't have, WPA2 is the best one, best alternate for WPA3. And the passphrase is here, you can enter the passphrase. So this is what we have to do in the router to secure our Wi-Fi. Or this is as an example I am showing you to know what kind of security we are using. It says WPA2 PSK enabled. So that means our home network is being used for WPA2 PSK security. So even as I showed earlier, every network comes up with one lock. So that lock says it is secured network, but it doesn't say how good that security is. So step one is security. Then what kind of security? So to know what kind of security, once we log into the network, we log into the router by just going to the security tab on the left side, we know. So before we spoke about Wi-Fi network security and how to find the Wi-Fi network security type and how to change it. So generally you log into the router and there will be a security tab. If you click on it, it shows the network name and what kind of security is being used. And if it is not WPA2 or WPA3, we can make it WPA2. And the way we discussed how to generate the passphrase, we can enter the passphrase in the given page. So that is one level of defense. Now there is another problem with Wi-Fi routers itself. So in home Wi-Fi, we need to remember two things. One is Wi-Fi network password. Another one is home gateway password, admin password. Most of us, we don't care about home gateway admin password. So some from the service provider, one person will come and he does the configuration, and in general he may leave it as default, or generally he leaves it as default. They don't put on their own, and only they will change the Wi-Fi password to whatever they like, or whatever in general with our phone numbers or something appended, and they will give this is the password. So we don't really know what is our admin password, admin access. We just know, even if it is a secure network, we know only the network name and password that the person who had configured it. So now I am bringing this point. Knowing our Wi-Fi router admin password is also as important as making our Wi-Fi secure. These are the reasons. Default password risks. If we see our routers in the next slide, I'm going to show you generally how that sticker looks. So out of factory, all the devices will labeled with what is the admin, what is the user ID, and what is the password. So in general, it is admin or password, or it is admin, like that. So in the Wi-Fi router's backside, they will print a sticker saying that what is the login name and what is the password. So, and if we take one service provider like Airtel or uh, Vodafone, or anyone who like Tata Sky, or whoever is giving us the network access, right? All of them might end up using similar vendor routers. So if in my community, if 10 people are using Airtel, means all their routers will have the same default password if they have not changed. So we can easily guess, and this information is available in the internet also. If I type, okay, what is the default username and password for Airtel router, I can get it. I will tell what is the problem, but for now, most of our routers are left with the default username and password, and anyone can log in there because it is publicly available data. So that is what the default password risks. I will talk what is the risk, but these passwords are known to everyone if we don't change, because they are default. So updating your router's master password increases protection and prevents hackers from controlling your device. So now, if our Wi-Fi is open and our routers are not configured with any other passwords than the defaults, so people know what is the password, admin password for this device. So if they know the device password, they can log into the device, they can create their own networks, or they can change our network passwords. So we will end up losing the connection, or we will end up lending our Wi-Fi access to someone else, because they may not want to disturb you and they create their own network and they will be using it, but it is from our router. We don't even realize that this is our network. They may keep a name different. So, and even though that network is coming out of our router, we don't realize that this is coming from our router until unless we log into the router. So that is why it is very important to know our router admin password also. And I'm iterating, this is different from the Wi-Fi password. Router's admin password is one to configure Wi-Fi networks or configure Wi-Fi network passwords that is needed. and Wi-Fi password is needed for protecting our data over wireless. Next slide, please. So here is one example label which I have taken from one of the available routers. So everything is here. Login admin, password is admin, default IP is 192.168.1.1, Wi-Fi SSID, Airtel Zero Touch, and the password is common. There are two SSIDs. That means two Wi-Fi networks. Airtel Zero Touch, Airtel Zero Touch underscore 5G, and Wi-Fi password is Airtel @ 123. So now this is a secured network only because it is having the password. But this sticker will be there in all the uh, users who is using Airtel routers. So if this network name is not changed, they know the password. So one thing is making the network secure is important. So configuring the password is important, and making sure that password is not easily guessable. So if we put grandma at 1955 or password 123, or these are easily guessable, like Airtel 123 @ 123. If we put these passwords, when it is easily guessable, it is like not having the password. So first thing is we have to make it secure, have a password and have a strong password, and make sure even though the networks are coming with default security enabled with default passwords, change those default passwords to the specific ones which you configure and which you only have in your device. So this is another thing. And this is the label for your understanding. Can we go to the next slide? So I have provided the label earlier in the previous slide. There it shows the IP. So that is the IP. Here we have 192.168.1.1. Once we type this IP on the browser, then we get a pop-up saying that username and password. You enter admin, you can log into the device. So now once people logs into the device, they can configure anything. I mean, anything in the sense like they can configure wireless networks, or they can change the existing wireless network password. So that way, if some intruder, unwanted person gets this login, he logs into this device, he or she, then we lose our connectivity, right? So, and this is one sample page. Most of the home gateways web pages look like this only. So we like most of our bank networks are similar nowadays. All public banks, only colored things are changed, right? So similarly, most of the home gateways I will have in another page, or in the previous page we have security tab. So like that, once you log in, you will have the similar settings. There could be slight variations between routers to routers, but not much variations. Next slide, please. So here, once we log in with admin, under the management section, under access control, we have the configuration to change the username and password. So this is for changing the admin password. So earlier I have shown you under the security tab how to change, how to detect what kind of Wi-Fi security is enabled, and how to configure the password for it. So now this is for the Wi-Fi router, how to log into the router and how to change the router admin password. So this must be changed, and this will be mainly under management access control. So here we can give same thing. When it is a password, same rule applies. It's not only for Wi-Fi, anywhere we have to have a password. It should be kind of difficult to guess or not easy to guess. So then instead of using passwords, we'll use that passphrase technique. Next slide, please. So now we have seen what is the importance of Wi-Fi security, then how we can configure the passwords for Wi-Fi networks, how to see Wi-Fi networks listed and how to see whether they are secured or not. Then how do we log into the wireless home gateway, and how we change the admin password of home gateway. So now we are making our network secured. Then what is this step number 4? Beware of public Wi-Fi. So we are generally excited if free Wi-Fi is available. Excited in the sense like we don't have the trouble of entering the password. So it is easily you can connect and you have free internet available or whatever the services are available. Mostly this happens in the airports and coffee shops or some outlets where even in some hotels also I see they are keeping the networks open. They don't want to from the hotel management side also they cannot remember password for each router in each room, so they will make it open. There are different techniques. They will still make it as a secured one, but as an example I'm telling, there are places where even in the airports also they will provide the free Wi-Fi and they will redirect you to give your mobile number or something. They'll send the OTP and after that you will grant the access. But once you are connected to the open Wi-Fi, your data they have already taken, and now whatever you do on the open Wi-Fi everyone can see. Anyone, if someone is intended or interested, they can see. So now here I am listing the problems with open Wi-Fi. So one thing is, let us make our network secured and we should not connect to the open networks. Even though open networks are available outside, we should be very careful. Public Wi-Fi in locations like airports and cafes is convenient but exposes users to security risks and online threats. So better in public Wi-Fi networks, let us not use, like I have put it in the golden rule, never log into bank accounts, health portals, or shop with a credit card while on public Wi-Fi. So if you need the network, you want to access something, you cannot avoid connecting to the public Wi-Fi. You can connect, but at least avoid these things. Never log into bank accounts on public networks and health portals, or shop with your credit card details on public Wi-Fi. Use trusted networks. So now until unless, like, if trusted networks we are at home, so then we can use, or if some hotels or wherever we go, if they are giving the individual passwords then and there they have generated, or it has to be a secured network. If it is not secured and you cannot avoid using it, at least avoid these things, so that way we can protect our data. Next slide please. So just a checklist of whatever we have discussed till now. Enable password protection. So make sure always set a password on your home Wi-Fi to block unauthorized users from accessing your network. Then make sure use strong passphrases. Even though we have a secured network, if the password is easily guessable, it is as if not having. So better to have a good strong password. Instead of password, have a passphrase and generate a password. And change default router password. So this is very important. Okay, so that also we have seen. Change it from admin password or admin to admin something, which again we know how to configure passwords now. Then use private connection only. For banking and shopping, use your private home internet to protect sensitive information from public networks. So these are the security checklist I would like to highlight for our home network access. Next slide. Thank you. So I think I finished 2 minutes before, but I am ready to take any questions or any clarifications from the members.
Now I call upon you to give a short summary and proceed further. Over to you.
Okay.
Please.
First of all, Lakshman, it is a very interesting and important talk. for all of us to be secure, you started with saying Wi-Fi is the gateway to your home, an invisible entry door to your home, connecting all your personal devices and the internet is like keeping your home door open. Second one, you said risks of unsecured networks. You started leaving a network unsecured allows the intruders and strangers to monitor our activities. Maybe they do something or maybe they do not do anything, but they have a chance to monitor and expose our personal data like bank details, passwords, and photos for theft. The third one you said was essential encryptation. You should always use, earlier also you were told, now also you are telling WPA2 or WPA3. Just now somebody asked, some boy is cracking the password. So if the security network is very low, less than WPA2, obviously it is crackable. WPA3 is the highest security available on the globe today. So you should now know how to change your network to WPA3. If you do not know, call your service provider, ask him to help you to change it to WPA3. There's nothing wrong in it, or your friend or a computer friend or son or whoever it is. Immediate action required is if your Wi-Fi does not currently require a password, you must add one immediately, one password for the first line of defense. And you also stressed that using public networks for convenience is like using public toilets. If you are emergent, you use public toilet. You are not particularly, for the commodes, you never prefer to use the commode in a public place rather than only in your home. But if it is an emergency, you use it, provided you don't do any banking, you don't use any credit cards, or you don't do any sensitive transactions. There are information also provided. Then you also stressed on the passphrase versus a password. Passwords are easy to guess. Grandma 1953 or 55 is guessable. The password 123 is guessable. Passphrases like a sloka or any other thing which you prefer, you remember, but you don't have to write on a paper, but others can guess it. A phrase from your grandchild's book or whatever it is, passphrases are better than passwords. Strong phrase composition. A secure passphrase should combine 3 or 4 random words. You said blue tomato dancing chair, something like that. Avoid personal data, particularly in the passwords. All of us have got the habit of creating passwords. I write my wife's name and put my date of birth next to it, thinking that it is secure. Easily anyone can know what is your wife's name and your date of birth, and they can connect it. So default passwords are vulnerable. You showed the label there on the router that they say admin and password, which we are not supposed to use it. Once we start using the router, we should change it to a proper one. You also said instead of admin, one can be the admin. You can create another user and use there the username, and also the password also you can change in a way it is secure. And you very clearly distinguish the security of the Wi-Fi and security of the router. Security of the Wi-Fi is from the router to your mobile or laptop. Security of the router is others will not be able to use your router as their source point. For that you have to, that is a one-time affair. You don't have to change the security of the router every time. But depending on your frequency of use, you may change the Wi-Fi password if necessary, maybe once in a year, I don't know, whatever is the frequency. Now, password distinction, it's important to distinguish between a router master password versus a Wi-Fi network password, which I just now summarized. In management interface, router security and access settings are typically managed through a web-based interface. Somebody is asking, how do I change my router password? Router password you cannot see on your computer. You have to type. There is a number on the label there. Lakshman showed 192.168.11. If you go into the website and type on the browser address, you type this number, your router will appear. Then there will be a management option. Under that, the access control menus are there. There you have to do the admin as well as your own password. And I guess probably there itself there will be a chance for you to use the WPA2 or WPA3 also. Probably will be there. Caution with public Wi-Fi networks. Beware of public Wi-Fi networks. They are free. You are tempted to use anything free. Beware of freebies. Nothing is free in the world. If somebody is giving free to you, sure that there is a catch somewhere. YouTube is free for you to use. Means what? He makes money out of the YouTube because from your postings he is earning money. So nothing is free in the world. Nobody is benevolent to give you a free network or free this one. Secure banking and shopping, always sensitive information like banking and shopping, etc., should only use your private home network to protect your information. Somebody says, you send me money, I am in a great hurry now. When you are on the road, tell me, sorry, I am driving, or I am on the road. After I go home, only I will try to give you the money or transfer. I will not be able to do it there. You can say that very clearly. Network components, a standard home setup involves a router with a Wi-Fi access point and sometimes a repeater if necessary. This also he mentioned. That means you have multiple rooms. So let's say 3 bedrooms are there and hall is there and you have one router. It will not be able to subscribe to all the rooms. What you require is you require repeaters wherever it is required, maybe 2 or 3 repeaters, and maybe keep in one repeater in each room. The same Wi-Fi network only is going to be repeated all the corners, so there are no blind spots in the house, and you will be able to access the Wi-Fi in any part of the house. This is also very important while setting up the Wi-Fi. Home security checklist Lakshman has provided in the end. The last slide shows what is the final checklist for the security network, including enabling password protection, strong password phrases, changing default router settings, and prioritizing private connections rather than public connections. It's an excellent talk all through. I would share the PPT with me already with us in the group through our president. I will post it to him. He will post it to the group. You can see the PPT, which will be circulated to you. And also this recording is being made, and I will enable the recording, including the summary part, so that you will be able to access this recording whenever you feel like. And also Lakshman is very kind enough to leave his mobile number in the end slide, so that if you have any issues, personal issues with the Wi-Fi security, you can take his advice and then come back to him on the number, so that he will be able to give you guidance. So this is all I have, Dr. G.
Thank you very much, Professor Sharma. We had a very, very interesting talk as well as followed by a discussion by our members. I thank our distinguished speaker for having enlightened us with that useful topic. Thank you very much.